Well, we're into our third month of the lockdown and the over-the-top mass hysteria that has accompanied this pandemic. Some things to think about while we wait to be free once again. First off, in the words of the great Dennis Prager, is this lockdown a rehearsal for a global warming government takeover? Next, has any modeling been done to see how society has fared since we began talking about the dangers of the virus? Many experts, other than the oft wrong ones that we have been forced to listen to up until now, are claiming that it is no longer necessary to quarantine healthy people, that we should reopen businesses and schools and allow kids to interact with one another and all of us to enjoy being outside without fear of being ticketed by an overzealous bylaw officer. After 12 weeks, we now know who needs protection and that there is no point in shutting the barn door since the horse has already escaped the barn. Why do we keep on pretending that there's actually something that we can do to stop the spread? A person of average intelligence now understands that hygiene, hand washing, proper social distancing, and the protection of the elderly and infirm is what is required. Do we really need to be constantly lectured to by the do as I say, but not as I do politicians and their medical advisors? Now, the Wuhan virus, its real name, has given us an insight into what a world looks like under totalitarian rule. Lineups at grocery stores, snitch lines, rules, and more rules. And the worst part is that our dear leader has no clue what to do and is quite happy to float in and out of his 22-room mansion every day at around noon to throw more vote-buying money at peoplekind as he prepares for the next election. And let's talk about Doug Ford for a moment. Doug Ford is getting very comfy, a little too comfy with his adoring crowd. He's fast losing the support of his base with his reluctance to reopen the province. Whatever happened to Ontario is open for business, Doug. Masks. Now, masks are necessary, unless they're not. We should wear them, unless it's not going to help. In which case, we should have them at the ready, but not touch our faces as we don them or attempt to adjust them before we pass out from asphyxiation. It would also be nice to see some faces from time to time, even if it's from across the street and accompanied by a suspicious and fearful sideways glance. Finally, I'll tell you a little tale of Pilot Barbie's latest run-in with a Twitter mob. An anonymous individual, they're always anonymous, tweeted out one of my videos that compares Justin Trudeau to Donald Trump's handling of this crisis, and did not like my message. The barrage of nasty tweets that ensued was interesting, to say the least. Just like the game Telephone, where the original message comes out completely changed when it reaches the last person in the line, my haters suggested, that's not the word they used, that I moved to the US because of my gun-loving, not even mentioned in my video, proclivities. And they resorted to their usual baseless name-calling and branding. Very mature, don't you think? Well, that's it for this video on craziness and more craziness. Rise up and take back your lives, Canadians. Don't wait for the Liberals to get a foothold. There may not be a second chance.